Good afternoon, everyone. I am Billy Alcady. My thesis advisor is Professor DePonte, and my thesis is on therapeutic architecture, the design considering general mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. Depression and anxiety are the leading mental illnesses in the US. 1 in 5 people suffer every year. The question I came up with was, can architecture be a more prevalent instrument to help decrease these negative feelings? Maximizing and creating positive impacts for the human experience in the built environment is the main influence for this thesis. What is therapeutic architecture? Therapeutic architecture can be described as the people oriented, evidence based discipline of the built environment, which aims to identify and support ways of incorporating design elements that interact with people psychologically in a positive manner. Therapeutic architecture pertains to everybody. Depression and anxiety being the leading mental illness disorders in America. Taking care of the human mind plays a crucial role in our everyday lives, and by doing so, human-based design will cater to the needs of a specific building typology and where the building is in context to the program. Over the course of the semester, I've driven deep into the research on human-based design and looking into design considering mental health illnesses. And then I found Stephen Keller. He is a professor of social ecology and a senior research scholar at Yale University School of Forestry and Environmental Studies. He is a major advocate of biophilic design, as his nickname is the godfather of biophilia. His works are most popular within the literature sources being researched throughout this thesis. He mentions numerous times about his methods when utilizing nature to a personal level. His work assists in the focus of understanding connection between nature and humanity. According to his findings, design and development that only satisfy the physical and materialistic portions of design will not succeed, as well as considering biophilic attractions of nature in design emphasized for the occupant's mental well-being. There were 4 common themes throughout the research: healing, connections to nature, the psychology of spatial environment, and lighting. The first theme is healing. Many of the sources continue to emphasize the significance of human-based design. Focusing on the people who need healing leans towards therapeutic design methods, analyzing the human's relationship within the built environment and their needs concerning healing, being comfortable, and mental health is crucial. The second common theme is connections to nature. Through efficiently placing fenestration and incorporating the greenery into buildings, help relieve the negative feelings of stress that will eventually lead to anxiety and depression. Many of the sources throughout the research portion of this thesis are advocating biophilic design to enhance mental well-being. There are 43 registered biophilic design buildings in the US, according to the International Living Future Institute. The advocacy for the building industry to incorporate these practices will enhance mental well-being everywhere. The third theme is the psychology of spatial environment. The significance of the experience within the built environment can create positive and negative psychological benefits and damage. Creating architecture and interior design that affects the physical properties in a space correlates to the behavior of the user. The occupant may feel comfort by the openness of the space, as well as being in control of the space in which they inhabit. Creating openness in spaces can have the opportunity to hold multi-purpose activities and be characterized as versatile. The last common theme is lighting. The combination of natural and artificial lighting gives a positive reinforcement to the occupant within the built environment. The decision to enhance natural lighting and ventilation can profoundly affect the occupant's well-being, including health, motivation, morale, and other aspects of physical and mental well-being and satisfaction. Many of the studies throughout this research show that rooms without the connection to the outside make the occupants the least comfortable and tend to not perform at best. All of this research has led me to my precedents. My first precedent is the Gilded Iguana Hotel Center, designed by Studio Sachs in 2019. All the spaces throughout the hotel athletic center are large and open. This is the jiu-jitsu slash boxing room. Glass window walls create an even larger environment and is common throughout all the other rooms in the athletic center. The nature within the hotel, the athletic center is fully connected with the greenery surrounding and in contact with the building. Transition spaces are outside to get to room. Interior spaces are meant to feel open to nature and to connect the occupants to the beauty of the island. Hotel rooms on the ground floor all have access to the outdoors, containing large glass doors and windows to bring in maximum natural light into the space. The second precedent is the hangar in Kenmore, Washington, designed by Graham Baba Architects in 2017. The hangar space is commendable. The openness to the outdoors, the shed roof leading towards the garage doors, spacing of the tables, and the wood materiality on the walls and ceiling helps the occupants feel warmth and comfort. As for the nature of the hangar, the balance and proportion between the building and the existing site. The landscape is interactive with numerous places for seating, and the vegetation surrounds the side views for the occupants within the building. The lighting in the hangar is maximized with natural light, as the broad side faces south, creating enough diffused light without the use of artificial lighting during the day, and very minimal but enough artificial hanging from the ceiling for the evening hours. The last precedent is the African American History Museum, designed by David Adjaye and Bond Smith Group in 2016. There are many nodes that contain small seating areas for taking in the exhibit spaces, but they contain the openness above to make it seem like as if the occupant is in a small space. Many of the spaces within the building is filled with ceremonial spaces throughout the tour, and it makes the visitors feel a spiritual connection to the exhibits. The site is filled with numerous seating that is surrounded by vegetation and grass for tourists to interact with the site. The building stands at 85 feet tall, also gives off shading for people surrounding the building, as it is a humid environment. There is a balance between artificial and natural lighting entering the building. Within the transition spaces, there is maximum natural light coming through the large windows and the exterior bronze panels. Throughout all the research and inspiration from precedent, I have narrowed down my site location. Though therapeutic design techniques can be utilized in any setting, Pearl City, Hawaii is where I'll be setting my building. Zooming into the site, Pearl City is located in the center of the island of Oahu, 11 miles from Honolulu. I chose this site due to its history of traumatic events that occurred exactly 79 years ago today, Pearl Harbor. Thankfully, the majority of the island stayed intact and was not affected by the brutality displayed from the Japanese during that horrific event on December 7th, 1941. But overall, through the conservation of the island, Pearl City, Hawaii today has numerous views that show the true beauty of the island. As the initial site is located in the backyard of the peninsula community, access for pedestrians will be developed to encourage the neighborhood to walk to the building and enjoy the services provided. The initial site views, here we have an ocean looking out towards Pearl Harbor and the Navy SEAL dock. The site is located northwest of the harbor, and the view we are looking at is looking towards the southeast. This is a video of the site timeline as it has developed into a brownfield over the past 20 years. Starting out as a forest land, the peninsula housing as well has been developing through this timeline. The site has great opportunities to help engage the people of the peninsula to interact with the building being placed into the site. Seeing that it is now a brownfield, it's encouraging to design on top of it and consider more sustainability techniques to enhance the development of the building. The Pearl City demographics include 60% Asian/Pacific Islander, 17% white, 7% Hispanic, 2% black, and 18% identify as two or more races. The Pearl City housing dynamic, there are almost 9,000 households, 25% have kids under the age of 18, 63% are married couples, 2% are single mother, and 18% are non-families. Moving on to the annual precipitation for the site, it falls between 30 and 40 inches per year. as the winter months of January, November, and December have the most rain. Warmer temperatures occur during August and September with a high of 86 and a low of 72. And the coldest months are January to March with a high of 80 and a low of 65. Mainly, these ranges are fairly close to each other with a high humidity. These statistics were based off of 2019. The wind rose diagrams from this year have depicted winds mainly blowing towards the northeast and into the ocean in relation to the site, as well as directly east towards the water as well. Diving into the peninsula amenities, they include a small convenience store northeast of the initial site, as well as a playground, another playground slash park located southwest from the site, as well as an outdoor community pool and a dog park in the center of the peninsula. And looking deeper into the initial site, here is a circulation diagram around the site. As you can see, I call the road on the left the spine of the peninsula as it runs down the center, and the second spine of the peninsula located on the right, which is closer to the site, which has a main vehicular exit. The site has the opportunity to have direct vehicular access to the site perpendicular from both spines and gives a promising location for a parking lot. All of this site analysis brings me to the program, as I carefully added the amenities that the peninsula was missing. The building is surrounded by a residential community filled with dog parks, playgrounds, and a community pool. I also have taken into account the amounts of families and military personnel and the history of the site. So by that, I present to you the Malama Hanua Recreational Center in Pearl City. Malama Hanua is simply translated as to take care of our island earth, but in the Hawaiian language is more beautiful and complex. Malama Hanua means to take care of and protect everything that makes up our world, our lands, oceans, living beings, our cultures, and our communities. Considerably, my site's topography is pretty flat and is near the ocean line, but it has views of the mountain ranges from afar. So initially, for the recreational center, I included extracurricular spaces to keep kids engaged, as well as having security for families to stress less about their children's whereabouts during the day, creating a safe and a family-friendly environment for all ages to enjoy the facility, as well as fitness spaces. Physical health leads to mental and overall well-being and will help the community have access to gaining energy and positivity in their daily lives. Physical activity increases the self-esteem and reduces anxiety and the chances of depression. For exterior exercise opportunities, there will be spaces dedicated for beach volleyball and a baseball field to keep the reputation of success with their multiple youth World Series championships. Next, we have the community education spaces. This will create opportunities to learn life skills and to take care of individual needs that will assist in being well prepared for their future challenges, as well as it will help reduce stress and anxiety along the way. The last spaces in the program are the community gardens, which will promote healthy and healing environments, connecting the community to the beauty of their paradise. As there are so many reasons to be outdoors with the amenities, the community has the Malama Hanua Rec Center will add even more opportunities to connect with nature. So in moving forward, I have developed my party design. The symbolism that goes with this party kind of represents the 8 islands of Hawaii, and my site being in Pearl City, you see the circular spaces as well as the consideration of the program within this party. So within developing this party, I think it has a strong symbolism of everything that goes around with the Hawaiian culture because of how strong the Hawaiian culture is and how much they pride living in coherence and taking care of the land and their culture and their communities. And with that, to conclude, moving on towards next semester, I will be diving more into the research of the relationship between the Hawaiian culture and the built environment. This will help lead me towards design techniques that blend in with the existing architecture in Hawaii, as well as helping me create a building that is truly based off of human-based design and that is therapeutic for its occupants. I appreciate your time and thank you very much.